You ever notice how quiet it gets when you're truly alone? I mean, really quiet. Most of us, we run from that silence. We'll fill it with noise, distractions, pretty much anything to avoid whatever's hiding in that stillness. But what if I told you that space isn't the enemy? What if it's actually the key to finding a kind of happiness that no one can ever take away from you? So let's dive in and figure out how to turn that silence from something you fear into your absolute greatest source of strength.
And this right here, this is the root of so much unhappiness. It's this idea that our happiness is something we have to find on the outside. We are going to completely dismantle that lie today. I'm going to show you that the most powerful, most fulfilled people on the planet have all mastered the art of being alone. And trust me, it's not for the reason you might think.
So where does this whole idea even come from? Well, think about it. From the time we're kids, right? Fairy tales, movies, songs, we're constantly sold the story that a partner completes us. Society basically teaches us that being alone is a problem that needs to be solved, not a state to be enjoyed. And this programming, it runs deep. It keeps us on this hamster wheel, always looking for someone else to validate us just so we can feel whole.
This slide really gets to the core of it. Let's talk about energy. And don't worry, this isn't anything weird. Think of it as the vibe you're putting out into the world. When you're constantly chasing validation, you're basically broadcasting a vibe of neediness. And, like attracts like. This usually brings in relationships that aren't built on real respect, but on filling a void. And that can be incredibly draining for everyone involved.
Okay, this brings us to probably the single most important reframe in this entire explainer. We tend to use the words loneliness and solitude like they're the same thing, but they are worlds apart. Seriously. Getting this difference is the key that unlocks the door to real, genuine happiness within yourself.
So let's break this down. Loneliness, that's a passive state. It's about suffering, feeling empty and disconnected. It's all about what you don't have. But solitude, oh, that's completely different. Solitude is an active choice. It's a position of power. It's your time for self-discovery and creation. It's not about what you lack. It's about discovering everything you already are.
So here's the crucial point. Solitude isn't some kind of punishment. It's the birthplace of greatness. It's that quiet space where your most brilliant ideas can finally surface, where you can actually hear your own voice without all the noise from the crowd. So how do we actually do this? How do we cultivate this amazing state of solitude? I want you to picture your mind as a garden. Now, if we're being totally honest with ourselves, for a lot of us, that garden might be a bit overgrown with weeds, right? I'm talking about negative thoughts, fears, limiting beliefs that have just been growing wild for years. Being alone gives you the time and the space to finally tend to this garden. So at first, you got to acknowledge the weeds are there, no judgment. Then you consciously start pulling them out by choosing which thoughts you're just not going to feed with your attention anymore. And finally, you plant new seeds, thoughts of self-love, of appreciation, of possibility. You are the master gardener of your own mind, not the other way around.
Now, here's a story a lot of us tell ourselves. It's that old, painful recording that plays in our head. And if you believe this story, then of course, being alone is always going to feel like a punishment. It's a weed that will absolutely choke out any chance of happiness.
And this is where the magic happens. Just look at the shift on this slide. The situation outside hasn't changed at all. You're still alone. But by changing the internal story from unwanted to self-sufficient, you completely transform the emotional experience. See? You're not a victim of your circumstances. You are the author of your own story.
A lot of the time, when people say they hate being alone, what they're really afraid of is just being present. They'd rather live up in their heads, replaying the past, or stressing about the future, than actually experiencing the richness of right here, right now.
That's it. So simple. It's the most powerful anchor to the present moment you will ever have. It's the ultimate tool for getting out of that mental time machine that causes so much of our anxiety. Just think about it for a second. Your breath is always with you. It doesn't need anyone else's approval to exist, it's just there. And by simply paying attention to it, you start to learn that peace isn't some far-off destination you have to reach. It's right here, always available in this very moment.
And when you truly get that this moment, right now, is the only life you can ever actually live, that frantic fear of missing out, FOMO, it just dissolves. It gets replaced by this deep, profound joy of simply being present with yourself.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. It's what I like to call the solitude paradox. The moment you genuinely learn to be happy all by yourself is the exact same moment you become incredibly attractive to healthy, amazing people. Let's look at why that is.
This chart just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got codependence. It's built on a foundation of emptiness, right? It's like two half people trying to make a whole. But over on the other side, you've got healthy interdependence, and that's when two whole people choose to come together, not because they need each other, but because they want to share their completeness. You stop looking for someone to be your source of happiness, and you start looking for someone to share your happiness with. It's a total game changer.
When you make this shift from emptiness to fullness, your entire vibe changes. You go from a place of, what can I get from you, to, what can I give and share? This just radiates this quiet, authentic confidence that is seriously magnetic. You become a source of positive energy, and you just naturally start to attract people who are on that same wavelength.
And really, this is the ultimate takeaway. Every single moment you spend in solitude, getting to know yourself, understanding your own patterns, and genuinely appreciating your own company is an investment. It's an investment that will pay you back in every single area of your life.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question. The greatest thinkers, artists, and leaders in history, they all found their genius in solitude, just by learning to listen to that voice inside. That same wisdom is available to you, right now. The only question is, are you willing to get quiet enough to actually hear it?